Hi everyone, welcome back to Special Angel Art Dolls. My name is Nicole and I am here today with my beautiful big girl, my princess, Lyndon Faith, and we are going to talk about reborn dolls and mental health. Okay, so as you can see, Lyndon has a special guest with her today. He's looking a little worried right now. His name is Puzzle, and he is a really, really cool tool and toy for Mental Health Awareness Month because he is called a What's Its Face. The What's Its Face company has 3 animals that you can buy: a dog, a teddy bear, and a cat. So the cool thing about these animals is that the little star on the top of his head twists, and also the panel that his face is embroidered on actually flips. So he has 3 different faces, and then on the other sides of those panels he has 3 more. So in total he has 6, and he can express all kinds of moods. And I thought that while I talk and you look at my beautiful girl there, we will showcase those moods as we go through the topic that I have for you today. Mr. Puzzle the teddy bear is looking kind of worried right now because we're going to start off on a really serious note. I just want to say before I really get into this that by and large these are my opinions. They are my beliefs and they are based on my experience. And so if something else works better for you, that's fine. But for newcomers who have maybe heard like miracle stories about reborns and mental health and things like that, I just want to give a more practical, down-to-earth approach. So the other thing that I want to say is that not all reborn collectors deal with mental health struggles. It so happens that many of us do, but that can be said about pretty much any population that you can come up with. So, in light of all that, let's start out with 3 things that I believe reborns are not in terms of mental health. So number 1, reborn dolls are under no circumstances a replacement for God. I realize that some of you, whether you realize it or not, will disagree with me. Some of you will think that this is a non-issue, but it is the most important thing that I'm going to say in this video, and knowing that people will disagree with me does not stop me from just putting it out there. So you can see little Puzzle. His face is turned to the sleeping face. That is as close as I could get it, and he's bowed forward with his little paws together. He's praying. Oh, that's really cute. I actually didn't think of doing that with him before this. So anyway, back to the serious topic at hand. Jesus is the answer. He is the only answer. He is the only one who can save us from ourselves and save us from the confusion of this world and from humanity's sin and lost state. I am not advocating against other approaches to treating mental health. As you will see, I believe that they are tools that God gave us for a reason. However, there's no denying that the things that go on in this world and our society at large often worsen our struggles with mental health. So yeah, you cannot use dolls or other material things or even people to replace the presence of God in your life. So the second thing that reborns are not, they are not a replacement for people. Oh, look, Puzzle's sad. He's putting up his little paw to wipe his eyes, and Lyndon is cuddling him so sweetly because he's sad. So, a lot of us, myself included, who collect reborns and who are childless, one of the things that drew us in was the longing for children. And maybe we can't have them, or maybe we can't have them yet, or maybe we're too young, or maybe our children have grown up and left. And this is a great way to remember having children, or to experience some of the more fun aspects of having little ones around. But they are not a replacement for people. And I see a lot of people who are really upset because they want their family members to acknowledge their reborn dolls as their children, as the reborn mom or dad's children. And a lot of family members in particular, and friends, feel that they can't do this. And to be honest, I understand both sides of that. I understand the longing to sort of have your favorite doll included in family things and whatnot, but I also understand family members' reservation to do so. And not everyone likes these super realistic dolls, and not everyone feels able to see them as a person. And the fact is that they are not a person. They don't grow, they don't change, they don't respond on their own to anything that you do. So I personally don't feel that it's fair to expect other people in your life to just, 100%, oh yeah, they're your kids, and they certainly can't replace any kind of relationship that you have with a person. So little Puzzle is turned to his sad face right now, and Lyndon's cuddling him, because really, when you are sad, there's nothing quite as comforting as another person. And that's really important, and I feel like the past year in particular has shown all of us that. And it's not fair to expect that level of comfort from a material thing. And I've seen people get really disappointed because they thought that getting these dolls would solve their loneliness, and it simply can't. It can maybe help to a degree, and I will talk about that in a minute, but it can't solve it. They can't love us back. As much as we sometimes wish they could, they can't. And finally, number 3 thing that reborn dolls are not, they are not a replacement for medical or therapeutic treatments for mental health disorders. So Puzzle is grumpy right now. He's very annoyed because we don't like having to accept help, do we? We certainly don't like letting outsiders into our deepest, scariest struggles. And there's usually some component of depression or anxiety or whatever it might be that convinces us you're alone. Nobody else thinks like you do. And that's simply not true. When we do let people in, it is very hard work to do that. And it often does get worse before it gets better. But if we can unlearn those destructive patterns and learn new ones in their place, it can make a huge difference in our lives. And while these dolls can be a help, I promise you that's coming up next. They are not a replacement for getting real help from real people for the problems that we have. Now, coming up next, they can be a great tool. So now we're going to talk about the ways that they can be a wonderful tool in our healing process. Oh, I think Puzzle's relieved. Look, he's smiling now. He's happy. He's glad that we're done with all the really, really serious stuff and on to the happy part of the video. This is so much fun. I'm gonna have to do more videos with him. He is just awesome. Don't you wish Reborns could do this? Like, where we could change their faces? Okay, anyway, so that kind of leads into what I'm going to talk about, which is the first thing that Reborns can help us do. And that is, they can be a wonderful, wonderful tool for creativity and for fun, a wonderful outlet for those things, whether in the artistry of creating them, which is amazing, or in playing with them. So we never ever outgrow the need to create and to play. They are built into our biology, and we never really outgrow them. So while Reborns can't replace people, this kind of correlates with that. They can become wonderful imaginary characters that develop in our imaginations, but that are also tangible, and we can touch them and hold them and change the way they look and the way they pose. We can make really fun creative videos with them or take creative pictures with them. All kinds of really fun things. Part of the reason that I chose Lyndon for this video today is because I have really, really experienced that with her, and I continue to, and I just absolutely love it. I think out of all of them, while she is definitely the hardest to move around and to dress, she is absolutely the most fun as far as creativity goes. So whether you are making Reborns, or you want to make them, or you like to play with them, or you like to display them in different ways, they are a fantastic tool for creative play. Wow, I think Puzzle thinks that this next thing is just really, really funny. Don't you think so? Look at how he's laughing. Oh my goodness. I know, I'm such an overgrown child and I don't even care. Anyway. So the next thing that Reborns can do, and this is where they've gained a lot of their fame in mental health, is that they can actually trick our brains. So they can help our brains break destructive patterns and thought processes by tricking them. Because they look so real, and they, in many instances, also feel so real, that when we look at them and we hold them, our brain goes, wow, baby, or young child in this case. And we feel this need to, be happy with them and cuddle them and rock them and pat them. It's amazing how many people that I have handed a reborn baby to, particularly a small infant, who have never seen the dolls before, and they just immediately cuddle the baby up to their shoulder and will start patting their bottom and swaying with them. And even with Lyndon, when people see her, if they're not actually creeped out, then they want to talk to her and stuff. It's really awesome. But holding and playing with these dolls can actually trick our brains into producing those happy hormones, such as dopamine and oxytocin, that make us want to be really loving and affectionate. And so, for me anyway, in my experience, if I have been really depressed for a while or anxious, and if I just take some time and come in and play with the dolls, pick one up, change their clothes, cuddle them, or, take some fun pictures and pose them and imagine what they're doing and what they're thinking, that sort of helps me reset my my thought patterns and kind of take a step back from whatever's been bothering me, or from the sadness that I've been feeling, or the anxiety, or whatever it might be. And then when I have to come back and think about those things, I'm better able to do it with a clear mind. So that is really, really important. It's been a huge benefit to me as far as mental health goes, along with the creative play. That's major too, and I guess they are sort of interconnected. So last but not least, let's talk about the final thing that I think that Reborns are really excellent for when it comes to mental health. Okay, Puzzle is all relaxed and relieved now because finally that lady behind the camera is about to shut up. Okay, so last but not least, Reborns can be comforting and useful in healing from such things as child loss or infertility or trauma. This little girl here, to me in particular, has been useful in inner child healing and reparenting, because I have a really hard time focusing, relearning helpful patterns when I'm just thinking about me. The character that I imagined for her, she is the little girl that I wanted to be and was always too scared to be. So they can be very useful that way. Very comforting to have around for those of us who have social anxiety or anxiety triggered by certain situations or locations. Having a doll with you gives you something else to focus on and is kind of a distraction and makes it easier to get through those situations. So by sharing all the things that I think they are not, I'm not saying that they can't be useful at all, but certainly I think it's vital for people who, especially who are getting into the hobby primarily for mental health reasons, to understand that these are not a cure-all. They can be a wonderful asset. They do have their benefits, but they are not a fix-all and cure-all. So I hope that this has been helpful for someone. I hope you enjoyed seeing my beautiful girl and sweet little Puzzle. I just love him. He's my favorite accessory for her that I have. He is just all kinds of fun, even just by himself. And the What's Its Face toys are a fantastic gift for any child in your life. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and may God bless you. I hope that this upcoming month is wonderful for you. If you're here in the States, happy Memorial Day weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye.